Today we have with us the Director of Digital Advanced Technology and Robotics at Festo, Ted Rozier.
How are we doing, Rich?
Oh, we are doing great. We're at Forum today. Great time.
Absolutely.
You having a good time here?
No. This is one of my favorite conferences. I mean, I love to kick off every year with this conference. I mean, the networking is fantastic and it's very inspirational.
I love the time for networking here. That's really important in a conference, isn't it? They do a great job here. Well, my first question for you, Ted, is why is the relationship between A3 and Festo so important for advancing automation education?
That's a good question, Rich. You know, I think that the values that A3 has, the culture aligns very closely with Festo. You've got automation and then you have education. And when we look at closing the skill gap, you see the same passion on both sides of the fence.
That's great. So why are you so passionate about advancing robotics and automation education?
You know, that's kind of a personal question. When I look at just my overall career, over 20 years in automation and robotics, I'm extremely excited about having the opportunity of taking over 20 years of experience and pouring it into education. We all know where to go to be a doctor. We know where to go to be a lawyer. But when it comes to automation, I mean, we're seeing at an all-time high due to emerging technologies. There's all kinds of jobs that are opening up, but where do you go get that training? How do we close the skills gap? So I'm extremely passionate about the next generation and also just where technology is today in the demystification of it all.
Oh, that's a great answer. Why did you decide to get involved with Education Day at Automate?
You know, it kind of goes back to where the passion lies. When you think about students today, they're extremely bright. And when I say bright, what do we mean by that? I like the term thinking ability. Okay, so what does that mean? When you look at students today, they have so much at their fingertips. So they're very innovative, and all they need, they don't need everything that we had to learn 20 years ago. There's a lot of shortcuts, but you do have to kind of fill in the blanks, and they can take off and, catapult. And we need those young minds. So our ability, or my ability, to be able to interact in Education Day, I want to make sure it's very clear not only to educators, but also to those students, but where technology is going, and make sure that we as a group demystify it and get everyone motivated and pumped up.
Yeah, I really appreciate your passion and all you've done for A3. You've really helped support our education program. And just throughout my career, you've always been a great supporter. That passion just comes out, and I really appreciate that. From your perspective, what's the significance of automation education in today's workforce landscape?
So when we look at today's workforce landscape, I think that we all know that technology is moving extremely fast. So that defines today's landscape in my mind. When we think about education, can education keep up with the landscape? We talked a little bit earlier about advancing, giving students the ability to think. So we need to make sure that education is teaching students at the same pace of industry. The only way to do that is for industry and education to align, and that's our number one goal, and it really speaks to what's going to happen at Educators Day. It's industry, education in the same place. They should all come together. Greatness needs to really come out of it. I don't see why I wouldn't. 2 + 2 = 4.
So Ted, how do you see Educators Day contributing to the advancement of automation education?
Good question, Rich. You know, when it comes to Educators Day, I think that instructors need added value. They need a reason, or workforce needs a reason to come to this show specifically. So you got a day that's laid out specifically for them, but their takeaway, they're going to be able to get CEU credits based upon an agenda that's laid out for them. So it will be really easy for them to actually report back to their education space on what they learn.
And grad credits.
Grad credits, absolutely.
How crucial is the collaboration between education institutions and industry leaders in shaping automation education?
So our number one goal overall when it comes to automation is to train students so that the learning curve is not so steep when they enter industry. So that kind of sets the stage for us here, Rich. Educators can train students and give them the core, electrical, mechanical, I/O. They can teach them something about software. Now you walk into the real world, and how do I apply it? So there's a theory knowledge check that's done, but the hands-on side, that's what's typically lacking. So if we can align industry aligning with education and make sure that those students have more hands-on, more if the storyboarding was done and they were troubleshooting more, and these were real life scenarios that are happening in industry, once they hire a student, that student takes off. There is no dip or a learning curve that they have to get over. They should be able to jump right in, and that's from everyone communicating.
So, Ted, in your opinion, how is AR, AI, and VR going to impact education?
Very good question, Rich. You know, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, it all falls back on a method or a theory that we all talk about: garbage in, garbage out. When you talk about collecting information, that's the power of augmented reality. If I can collect enough information about a specific skill set, a specific job role, we talk a lot about data. Augmented reality is almost like taking an Ethernet cable and plugging it right into a student. Because all of a sudden what happens is all that experience from all of your journeymen, depending on what the skill set is ported right to that student right in front of them, allowing them to quickly be able to troubleshoot. There's a theory that we talk about a lot. Based upon technology, we should be able to anticipate the red light versus chasing the red light. And how do you do that? I mean, quickly, regardless of what your job role is, but I can take a production specialist, for example, someone who is responsible for feeding material into a production line. And when the part's baked, take it off and start all over again. But what happens when I give him augmented reality and he gets a red light? Well, now there's arrows telling him what to do. There's instructional data telling him what to do, allowing the maintenance guy to continue to do the anticipating. He doesn't have to call him, so the level of escalation goes up. They don't have to call maintenance to come fix something. That operator would have the opportunity to fix that problem. So you give that to students, their ability to catch on will move very quickly.
If you're an instructor or an administrator and you're interested in learning more about AI and manufacturing, would Automate be a great place to visit in Educators Day?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that the demystification of artificial intelligence would happen at Automate. And why do I say that? It's not like when you walk into a booth that artificial intelligence is going to jump out at you. But I guarantee you that there will be specific booths where that you're going to see technology where there are different AI methods being used. So it might be by way of a camera using vision. It might be by way of a more powerful PC that is driving a robot. But this will be a fantastic opportunity to be able to actually talk to specialists that can give you a deep dive on exactly what are the different levels of machine learning and how it leads to artificial intelligence.
As a teacher, if I want to network with major robotics and automation companies, how would Automate Educators Day benefit me?
You'll have all the major robot manufacturers right there. You've got Universal Robots, ABB, Yaskawa, Kuka, Fanuc. You've got them all there. So the opportunity to just go from booth to booth and just ask specific questions about that robot, they're going to be able to learn so much in one place.
And why should my students visit Automate?
Students, in order for them to crave jobs in automation. It's very hard to articulate it verbally. By them actually going and seeing these robots moving around, conveyor systems integrated into the robot, machine tools, seeing all of this, their minds will be blown. They're going to crave. It's like a bunch of toys on steroids, and they're going to want to be a part of it.
Great job, Ted.